Welcome to FootballGameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our NFL Week 10 preview between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Eagles.
The most impressive takeaway I had from Nick Foles' game versus the Oakland Raiders was how well he moved in and out of the pocket. He threw well on the move and also did a solid job of beating the blitz. In my opinion, that was great practice for what he's going to see this week versus the Green Bay Packers. But the biggest X factor, in my honest opinion, will be running back LaShawn McCoy. I believe it's his ability to do damage on both ends of offense that could be a huge problem for that Packers defense, especially in space. Defensively, facing the quarterback in Seneca Wallace could force the Eagles to alter what they want to do on defense. Now, instead of sacrificing the spy defender versus Aaron Rodgers, you can now drop an extra guy back in coverage, or you can send an extra guy with pressure to either get pressure on the quarterback or also put you in better position to stop the run. In the back end, the Packers love to spread the field and spread out a defense and attack the slot. So guys like Brandon Boykin, who's played some good football so far this season, will be counted on to make big plays when they come his way in the passing game. The Packers will be without Aaron Rodgers for an extended period of time, so it's up to Seneca Wallace to keep this offense on schedule. And I think the Packers can still be successful offensively with Wallace if they find ways to utilize his athleticism with maybe a little read option or move the pocket for him in the passing game. So all is not lost in my opinion, because quite honestly, the Packers can run the heck out of the football. Guard to guard, they're doing a great job firing off the ball and getting to the second level with ease, which is why guys like Eddie Lacy and James Starks are finding great room to run. So I can see Green Bay going more to a run-based, play-action pass, bootleg type of an offense, while Seneca Wallace is at quarterback, just to keep this offense on pace. Now, defensively this week versus Philadelphia, the goal is to make this a downhill vertical game and not a horizontal one. You want to hold your own on the edges to funnel everything back inside to your inside linebackers like A.J. Hawk and company. And versus the pass, I believe the Packers can get creative in their coverages, i.e. maybe situationally bracketing McCoy while going man press everywhere else, because in my opinion, they have the personnel across the board to play creatively on the back end.
The one thing the Philadelphia Eagles can do this week versus the Green Bay Packers is flood the zone. Now, I'm not going to draw up a defense, but I do believe flooding the zone is key to the team's success this week versus Green Bay. And I'm going to show you a 3-layered flood route that they can utilize versus this Packers defense. Now, what we're going to do backside, we're just going to send the guy back up on a post, hopefully trying to draw that safety out of the field, because we want to flood this side of the field with 3 guys at 3 different levels. We're going to put Deshaun Jackson in the slot because he has the speed to run the first route we're trying to get accomplished. We're going to bring him in motion. Outside leg of the tackle, you snap the ball. He's going to push upfield, and he's going to run the corner route. He has the speed to get upfield quickly to eat up that cushion. That's why you want him running deep down the field, which is why you put him in the slot. Now what we're going to do, which is the first layer, we're going to send LaShawn McCoy out in the flat. His job is to shoot the flat. That's the first layer. That's your built-in hot read. That's where you want to go with the football. You're going to check deep, intermediate, short. So now what we're going to do, we're going to bring the widest guy outside, top of the numbers, His job is to come over on an over route or a crosser. And we're going to have the slot guy work in like he's running a cross or a shallow cross, but he's running the whip route. Boom, he's going back out. So you see where the 3 layers lie. 1, 2, 3. And you sprint out Nick Foles. And what you're seeing here is 3 layers attacking the zone defense. So if you have 2 defenders over here, you have 3 guys trying to cover. You have 2 guys trying to cover 3, and you have a guy attacking at every level. You have your first guy, your intermediate guy, and your deep guy. So this is where you want Nick Foles to read. Some quarterbacks like to read short to deep. I like my quarterbacks to read deep to short, because you're always going to have the safety valve, and that's what you want. You want him to dash out, sprint out, but stop right outside of the tackle, just to where he can still be protected by turn back protection, but you also want him to stay within this tackle box in case he has to throw the football away. So that's a 3-layered flood route that I think the Eagles can utilize this week to have success versus Green Bay. The Green Bay Packers know they have to get pressure on Nick Foles in that passing game of Philadelphia to slow down that offense. And one way they can do that, I believe, could be beneficial if they go to a dime defense and do what we call a 3-2-6 storm blitz. I'm going to show you what that is, then I'm going to explain why I like the storm blitz. You see, we have 3 down linemen, 2 linebackers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 defensive backs. This is versus a double tight set, which is why I love this defense. So what it does, We're going to send this 5 technique. His job is to get inside this B gap right here. We're blitzing it. We're sending him in the B gap. We're going to have the nose tackle push up on the center, then cross over into that A gap. We're going to send this 5 technique down in the B gap. As the cadence starts to wind down, what you're going to see is the nickelback creep up, then come on the outside. He's a contained blitzer. You're going to see the dime back creep up, come on the outside. He's a contained blitzer. You're going to have your corners manned up outside, playing that the inside shoulder, trying to force these receivers this way where they have the sideline as their friend. You're going to have the 2 linebackers combo covering, bracketing the running back. So their job is the running back to their side. So if this guy goes this way, it's this inside linebacker's responsibility to cover him. If he goes this way, it's this inside linebacker's job to cover him. And whichever side he goes, the other backer has free reign to blitz. So not only do you have 5-man pressure, you have the potential for 6. You also have your safeties manned up on those tight ends because you're sending the nickel and dime guy on the blitz. Now the reason why I like this blitz, one, you get a 5-man pressure with the potential for 6. It's going to force a quick throw by the quarterback. And also you have your safeties protecting your blitzers off the corners, which is great because your safeties can cover these tight ends of Philadelphia. You also have the combo coverage of the running back. So like I said before, either way he goes, you're going to be well protected. And it's good versus a team that rolls out, utilizes play action pass, that wants to move their quarterback off the spot. And that's why I love this defense. Now the only weakness is, if there was 2 backs in the backfield, let's just say if this wasn't a tight end and this was a back here, now you have a situation where if it was a strong side play, you had both backs going strong side, it's very tough for the safety to get there. That's the only weakness I see out of the 3-2-6 dime defense, where you're sending guys off the corner. But otherwise, this is a great defense the Packers can run this week versus the Philadelphia Eagles to have some success defensively.
The X factor for the Eagles in this ball game will be the tight end play. Both Zach Ertz, the rookie out of Stanford, and also Brent Selleck will have to play a huge role, not only in the running game and sealing the edge, but also in the passing game, keeping those outside linebackers and safeties at bay, thus giving more room on the outside for guys like Deshaun Jackson and Riley Cooper to do work outside of the numbers. So I think the tight end play will be huge this week for the Philadelphia Eagles. The X factor for the Packers will be their secondary. Like I've said before, I believe they match up very well versus the Eagles passing game because they have the personnel at the corners as well as at the safety position to be able to play matchup defense. So I think the back 4 or 5 of the Packers will play a huge role in this ball game. Now here are some coaching points for both teams in this ball game. For the Eagles, you want to keep contained defensively. Don't forget that Seneca Wallace is a guy that can make plays outside of the pocket. You have to keep him bottled up, tackle to tackle. And those defensive tackles have to win inside this week versus Green Bay. They have to be able to stop the running game and put the Packers in 2nd and long and 3rd and long situations. And on offense, you always want to make it a track meet. You want to force a team that has an inexperienced quarterback back there to keep up with your scoring pace. Make it a track meet, play fast, and you have a great chance of knocking off Green Bay. And for the Packers in this ball game, you want to have creativity in the play calling. Remember, like I've mentioned before, Seneca Wallace is a guy that can do some unique things for your offense, and you do have personnel offensively that can make it happen, so you have to be creative in the way you call plays. And don't give up the perimeter on defense, otherwise the Eagles can run off tackle all day with LaShawn McCoy. You don't want to have him in space versus your defense. You have to be able to generate pressure versus Nick Foles. Yes, he moved well within the pocket last week versus Oakland, but this is a different animal. You have better athletes defensively. You can put him on the ground, so you have to be able to generate pressure, even if you have to send extra to get it done. I like the Eagles in this ball game. I think this is a bad matchup for the Packers on defense. Right now, the Eagles defense has been playing some good football, and I like the speed that they bring to the table. Plus, you have an inexperienced quarterback back there in Seneca Wallace, so I think their defense will be able to get stops. And on offense, I love the way they can run the football with LaShawn McCoy, and I like what I saw out of Nick Foles last week, so I think they'll do a great job going on the road and knocking off Green Bay. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Eagle fan forums and Packer fan forums for always showing football game plan support.